Welcome to Sacred Gnosis. Today, how to release what no longer serves you. I'm pretty sure you've all heard something similar around get rid of the things that no longer work for you, or get rid of the things that no longer serve you. But what does that actually mean? What does it mean to set down the burdens and get rid of the baggage? What does it mean to drop the things that no longer serve us? It means to really start doing, if you haven't, or stepping into the frame of the shadow work, the inner child healing, whatever it is that is holding you back. And a lot of us are being held back. And one key way to know if you're being held back is to check in with yourself and realize if you are living the life that you so dream. Right? The you that is real before the programming. When you were a child and the world was your wonder, how did you want your life? What vision did you have? And you might be like, I was 3. I was 4. I had no vision. Oh, you had a vision. But the world has done a very good job of trying to claw that back from us, that vision, to replace it with their own. So, to drop the things that no longer serve us, we first must step into the shadow, the darkness, and look at the things that we've decided that we don't want to look at, that we don't want to address. You know, for me, one of those instances was like looking at a situation in childhood that was holding me back. I refused to complete one last step. It was subconscious. It was a subconscious refusal, subconscious rebellion. But that subconscious rebellion was so deeply entwined with the daily goings on of my life, how I acted and showed up in certain regards, that it literally was a stranglehold to my personality, to my soul. So I really had to step into that shadow and ask myself, why was I unwilling? Why was I unwilling to set the baggage down, set the burden down? I was unwilling because I felt, erroneously so, but I felt that I was giving away my power. When the truth of the matter is, when I refused to step into the light, when I refused to do what I needed to do, I had already given my power away. Because I started to become someone that I'm not. I started to do things that are not me. They were this version of me, this version that refused to step into the light. It was that version of me acting, that version of me being. And I could see it clearly, yet at the same time, I couldn't. I could see that something was very, very wrong, but I couldn't quite see how I might go about fixing it. I paid a lot of lip service to myself over years, saying things to myself and not being able to follow through. And I thought, this is interesting. Why am I not able to follow through on the things that I set for myself? And I realized something. It was because of an underlying uncomfortable feeling that I was unable to step into the light. I knew I needed to do it, and yet I refused to do so. I refuse to offer forgiveness, to give it freely. You see, sometimes when we get hurt, we feel like that anger, that pain, that hate, that's something I get to hold on to. But it becomes a sword that you end up gripping its blade, and before you know it, you're impaling yourself. And before you know it, you're falling into the same grave. I had to learn to forgive unconditionally. To say, I forgive you, and I release this. I release you. And let me tell you something. When I really dug in and I really felt those words, it was like a weight was lifted off of me. A weight that had been there for so long, I had become comfortable in the crushing weight of the uncomfortability of the hate I was harboring, the pain I was harboring. And so I was unable to really keep showing up in the manner in which I knew I could. And all of this because I refused to set down, to put down what no longer served me. You know, maybe at a certain point, the anger served me. It served me to make sure that I would never be taken advantage of again. It served me to make sure that I had a discerning eye in the world. Because sometimes the world shows up in a way that can make you lose faith in it, that can make you lose faith in yourself. The question is not about losing it. It's about getting it back. It's about becoming you, being you. There are going to be times, maybe, if you're, I guess you could say, lucky enough, that life is going to toss you lessons and blessings. And sometimes those lessons and blessings will feel like the crushing weight of the world. It'll feel like everything is ending. And maybe it is. And maybe that ending is the beginning of something new. Lean into it. Lean into it and ask for the guides on the lessons and blessings being shown to you. So to put down the things that no longer serve you, step into the light. Accept and forgive. Forgive fully. And apologize. Apologize to another person. Apologize to yourself. Apologize to yourself for the transgressions against yourself, right? The damage that I did to my own system, my own body, by refusing to step into the light, by refusing to offer forgiveness and instead stewing in hate and pain. The damage that I did for myself, to myself, is not something I would wish on an enemy. And so, in that same space, in that same vein of offering forgiveness unconditionally, I also offered apologies. And in that same vein of offering unconditional forgiveness, I also progressed. In the same vein of offering unconditional forgiveness, I also gave freely to myself unconditional apologies, sorries, right? Apologizing profusely to myself for the transgressions against myself, for the words of hate I had for myself. When we hold on to things that no longer serve us, it weighs us down. It stops us from being able to fly as high as you're able to go. And who knows, maybe you're able to reach the realm of heaven, of godly status, of goddess status. Who knows where you're able to go when you decide to drop the baggage, when you decide to drop the burdens.